Hi, my name is FAIZAL SAIMON, and my number metric is 99722. My data for choosing in this assignment is 5 transport and logistics, impact of increase in online shopping on urban logistics. Introduction: buying goods or service online known as online shopping. Online shop, e-shop, e-store, virtual store, web shop, internet shop, or online store are a way to shop online. But there are logistics that must be known to do a online shop that deliver the thing to you. In Malaysia, the people are using it. The detail is referred to information that complete what you already know about something. To understand freight transport and logistics in Malaysia related to online shopping, it must be supported by statistical evidence, current policy background on the issue, and SDG, Sustainable Development Goal. Statistical evidence. The data is based on 2 years, specifically in 2020 and 2023, 3-year differences. This is year 2020 record. According to Housewit and We Are Society, Malaysia e-commerce market was valued at USD 4.46 billion in 2020, while Google and Temasek estimated it was worth US $6 billion. The item included in the measure may be the reason for the disparity between these two. There are 3 keys. The first one is key market, key challenge, and key trend. For the key market in year 2020, the first one is in the COVID-19 outbreak. The second one is the transition to omni-channel and marketplace model. The third one is the influence of social media and demographic. For the key challenge in the year 2020, the first one is infrastructure and connectivity. The second one is logistics and last mile delivery. The third one is SME adoption and skill. For the key trend in year 2020, the first one is significant increase in online sales. The second one is transition to home, health and essential. The third one is digital grant and SME engagement. In year 2023 record, due to consumer growing preferences for online shopping, Malaysia e-commerce market grew 12.2% in 2023 to reach 43.5 billion ringgit Malaysia, equivalent to $9.5 billion. There are 3 keys. The first one is key market, key challenge, and key trend. In the key market of year 2023, the first one is the growing use of mobile internet. The second one is the adoption of digital payment and financial inclusion. The third one for the key market in year 2023 is government support and digital initiative. For the key challenge in year 2023, the first one is gap in rural connectivity and digital infrastructure. The second one is delivery and logistics difficulty. The third one is issue with trust and cybersecurity. The key trend of the year 2023 is the first one is growth and optimization of mobile commerce, e-commerce. The second one is live shopping and social commerce. The third one is innovation in digital payment and buy now, buy later, BNPL. Current policy background on the issue. The first one is 12th Malaysia Plan 2021-2025 in focus. The second one is the National Transport Policy 2019 to 2030. The third one is Sabah Specific Transport Planning. This is the SDG of 5 transport and logistics in Malaysia. The first one is SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure. The second one is SDG 11, Sustainable City and Community. The third one is SDG 13, Climate and Action. A SWOT analysis is a framework for determining and evaluating the ability, trait, weakness, and strengths of an organization. The acronym SWOT is composed of this word. The first one is SWOT analysis of the strengths: mobile penetration and convenience, government initiative, and strong courier network. The second one is SWOT analysis of weakness: last mile efficiency, urban infrastructure constraint, and the high rate of parcel failure and redelivery. The third one is SWOT analysis of opportunity, sustained delivery, micro-hub and real-time routing, and smart logistic technologies. And the last one is SWOT analysis of threat, congestion, air pollution, negative externality, rapid growth of passing logistic capacity, and rising logistic cost and environmental regulation. Government policy competition, there are three. The first one is infrastructure and regulatory support. The second one is the promotion of digital and intelligent logistics. And the third one is customer and industry engagement. Thank you for watching.
Hi, my name is AMELDA THERA anak SEPEIN with nomenclature 98106. And today is my main topic is freight, transportation and logistics. While my title is about the impact of increase in online shopping on urban logistics. Let me begin with a general introduction about my topic. Okay, urban logistics refer to the movement of goods with city, especially the last mile delivery, warehousing, inventory management, and vehicle routing. With the explosive rise of e-commerce, particularly after COVID-19, we have been seeing a major shift, more frequent, smaller deliveries to individual homes. This trend is creating serious challenge. In Malaysia, e-commerce income reached 1.17 trillion in 2022 and 6.6% increase from 2021. Cities like Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and Johor Bahru are now handling huge volume daily through service like Shopee Express, JNT, and Grab Express. But more deliveries mean more vans on the road, causing traffic congestion, illegal parking, pollution, and stress on urban infrastructure. In this, I will aim to assess how online shopping is reshaping Malaysia urban logistics, highlight the key challenges, and propose sustainable and smarter solutions for the future. Details on the issues and statistical evidence. With the rise of platforms like Shopee and Lazada, demand for deliveries has surged. Malaysia e-commerce income reached over 980 billion in the first 9 months of 2024, contribute about 36.7% of the national GDP. But this digital shift has overloaded our urban logistics system. Cities like KL and Penang are now filled with delivery bikes and vans, causing traffic congestion, delay, and higher emissions. Logistic companies saw a 30% until 50% increase in daily delivery during and after the pandemic. Clearly, while e-commerce boosts the economy, it also strains our cities and environment. Current policy background on the issues. Urban logistics in Malaysia is under pressure due to the rapid rise of e-commerce, which has led to a surge in delivery vehicles, especially in cities like KL, Shah Alam, and Georgetown, causing congestion, pollution, and safety concern. To tackle this, the government introduced My Digital in 2021, promoting smart, greener logistics using technologies like AI, LOT, and real-time tracking. The National Transport Policy 2019 until 2030 aimed to improve infrastructure and the last mile delivery, while encouraging electric vehicle and lower emission zone. Lastly, the National E-commerce Strategic Roadmap support MSME with over 1.5 million on board by 2023 and work to reduce shipping costs and boost cross-border logistics. I will highlight how freight transport and logistics support the Sustainable Development Goal (SDG). First, SDG 9, Industry, Innovations and Infrastructure promote resilient, tech-driven logistics like smart traffic system and drone to make delivery network more efficient and less congested. Next, SDGs 11, Sustainable City and Community aim to reduce urban congestion and pollution. This includes supporting nighttime delivery, electric vehicle, and micro-distribution hub for better city living. SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, encourage efficient resource use such as less packaging and reverse logistics, and promote sustainable delivery practice like reusable packaging. Finally, SDG 13. Climate action urge cleaner logistics to fight climate change. This means more electric and hybrid fleet, low emission zone, and smarter routine to cut fuel use and emissions. Together, this goal drive a smarter, greener logistics sector. SWOT. First is strength. Malaysia is investing heavily in digital infrastructure like LTE, 5G, and AI-powered systems, which improve tracking and warehouse automations. The government has shown strong policy support to modernize logistics and assist small business. Weakness. Our urban infrastructure is outdated. Many cities don't have enough loading bay, delivery lanes, or space for efficient last-mile delivery. There's a lack of coordination between logistic players because each company sends its own. Opportunities. The green logistic movement is growing. Companies are starting to adopt electric vehicles, and the government offers tech incentives through the low carbon mobility blueprints. There's potential for public-private partner (PPP) to create shared delivery infrastructure like smart locker and fulfillment hub. Using big data and AI can improve delivery route planning, predict demand, and reduce fuel consumption. Threat. Urban congestion is worsening. According to the TomTom Index, KL congestion increased by 50% in 2023. Much of it due to delivery traffic. The industry also faces labor shortage. Delivery riders work under tough conditions which can reduce service quality. Lastly is a highly competitive market, with thin margin making it hard for smaller players to survive. Recommendations for environment. To support existing policy, here are 5 practical recommendations. First, Urban Consolidation Center, UCC. There's a logistic hub outside city center where goods from different courier are grouped and delivered together using cleaner vehicle. This approach using in Europe could reduce delivery trip in KL by up to 30%. Second, green tech incentive. Help logistic companies afford electric vans, solar power system, and eco packaging, offering tax break and subsidies. Third, micro fulfillment center (MFC), small warehouse inside city, often in unused building that help speed up delivery and reduce traffic by bringing product closer to consumer. 4. Smart delivery scheduling tools. Use AI to plan deliveries during off-peak hour to reduce traffic congestion and fuel usage. This has worked well in cities like Seoul and Tokyo. Last but not least, urban freight zoning. Design zone and time window for delivery. Only electric vehicle during peak hour, for example, to reduce city center congestion. To wrap up, online shopping has permanently changed urban logistics. While it creates new job and business model, it also increased traffic, pollution, and delivery complexity. Sustainability, smart logistics is not the optional. It's essential. With the right mix of policy support, technology, and community involvement, Malaysia can create a future-ready logistics system that supports the economy without harming the environment or quality of life. Well, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello doctor, my name is MERDECKA WALEST anak LADI, matrix number of 101842. I am presenting my assessment titled Short-Term and Long-Term Impact of COVID-19 Pandemic Post-Recovery on Goods Travel Demand, Supply Chains and Policy Implications at Urban, National and Regional Levels in Malaysia. The COVID-19 pandemic, which emerged in late 2019, was a global health crisis that quickly escalated into an unprecedented economic shock, a downturn more severe than a 2008 until 2009 financial crisis. In fact, the global economy was projected to fall by -3% in 2020, marking one of the sharpest declines in modern history. One major area impacted was good travel demand. Restrictions on movement, closures of businesses and individual lockdowns led to drastic changes in how people and products move, showing significant reduction in travel frequencies, change in trip purposes and shifts in transport modes because of socio-economic factors and country-specific responses. Governments respond with urgent policy intervention to slow the virus spread. These responses varied across nations and had a direct effect not just on health but on economic, supply chains, and public well-being. Speaking of supply chains, this is one of the most affected areas globally. From manufacturers to distributors, nearly every player in the supply network experienced delay, shortage, or shutdown. In Malaysia, this disruption ripples through the economic trade link with neighboring Southeast Asia countries. This study explores how short and long-term effects in COVID-19 have shaped good travel demand, supply chains and policy responses at urban, national and regional levels in Malaysia. The detailed and statistical evidence are researched between short-term impacts and long-term impact of COVID-19 after the post-recovery toward good travel demand. Supply chains and outcome this term may impact short-term and long-term policy at urban, national and regional level from statistics from world data and comparison between data or other country to another country. Short-term impacts refer to the immediate disruption and effect caused by sudden events such as a COVID-19 pandemic and goods travel demand, supply chains and logistic operations. These impacts typically unfold within weeks to months and are characterized by sudden shock to production, transportation and trade flows. Long-term impact in post-recovery context is about comeback that Malaysia made for economic resilience and overcome economic growth issue after pandemic began to slow down. The long-term impact indicates the future planning for Malaysia to build back the economy and rebound back from the disruption because of COVID-19. Between 2019 and 2020, Malaysia's good travel demand was heavily impacted by COVID-19. In Kuala Lumpur, red ridership dropped sharply, which is KLA Express and Transit fell by 67%, Kelana Jaya LRT by 60%, and KTM commuter by 53%, mainly due to lockdown restriction. This severely affected train service revenue and operation. Air travel was also hit hard. KLA saw 45% drop in passenger, while KLA2 dropped nearly 50%. International travel plummeted by 98% in April 2020 compared to the previous year. Airline faces reduces capacity and rising costs due to strict SOP. In contrast, freight and e-commerce grew, with people staying home, online spending surged. E-commerce income rose by 32.7% in 2020 and 71% of people use food delivery like Foodpanda. This shift helped support the freight sector while passenger travel declined. The COVID-19 pandemic significantly changed how Malaysians perceive and use public transportation. Lockdowns, movement restriction and fear of infection led to the sharp decline in travel activities. Overcrowding on trains and buses became more major health concern, making people more cautious about using shared transport. Following the national vaccination rollout, with over 90% of adults vaccinated, the government eased restriction. This led to a noticeable rebound in public transport demand, especially during lunch break and late evenings. However, service struggled to meet this sudden increase, highlighting the need of improved capacity, better crowd management, and long-term policy reforms to ensure safer, more reliable mobility system. During the early stage of COVID-19 pandemic, Malaysia's holiday sector faced extreme disruption. With movement restriction in place, demand dropped, factory operation halt, and port activities slowed down. Although port later resumed, strict SOPs and crew restriction delayed vessel access. Container throughput fell in major ports like Penang and Port Klang, worsened by US-China trade tension and labor shortage. Air cargo saw 51.5% drop, while maritime freight slightly increased by 0.96% due to low cost and fewer restrictions. However, port capacity remained limited due to health concerns and reduced manpower, affecting overall supply chain efficiency. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed the urgent needs for resilient and adaptable supply chains. In Malaysia, logistics and transportation services, especially for export and import, play a key role in sustaining the economy during the crisis. Unlike passenger travel, freight movement remained active and even grew due to rising e-commerce demand. Businesses began shifting production offshore and turned to Tier 2 and Tier 3 suppliers to reduce dependency on main sources affected by lockdown. Tools like supply chain mapping become essential in identifying risks and alternative routes. In response, Malaysia launched initiative to modernize logistics through digitalization to developing smart logistic hubs and offering tax incentive to attract investment. These changes aim to build more flexible, visible, and future-proof supply chain system. Next is the policy background on issue that have two policies, which is Movement Control Order and Prihatin Stimulus Package. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Malaysia Movement Control Orders (MCO) severely disrupt logistic and transport operations. Good movement was delayed due to roadblocks, unclear travel rules, and port congestion. To address this, the government introduced temporary policies including special approvals for logistic operators and coordination with police to ensure essential freight could move. The Ministry of Transport also issued safety guidelines highlighting the sector's critical roles in maintaining national supply chains during the crisis. Also, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Malaysia transport and logistics sector was hit hard by global and domestic supply chain disruption. To reduce the economic impacts, the government introduced the Prihatin Stimulus Package, offering financial support to sustain logistic operation. This includes aid for SMEs, wage subsidies, and tax relief. E-hailing and taxi drivers affected by the movement control orders also receive one-off cash assistance. These targeted measures aim to protect jobs and maintain supply chains continuity during the crisis. There are three levels of policy implications throughout short and long term of COVID-19. During COVID-19, Malaysia introduced multi-level transport policies. In urban areas, buses were sanitized before and after trips to protect passengers, especially low-income commuters. At the national levels, the government allowed freight vehicles to move with police assistance to ease port congestion and ensure delivery of essential goods. At the regional level, Malaysia support ASEAN recovery plans by harmonizing trade standards and expanding the ASEAN single window to reduce border delays and boost cross-border logistics. Now for the Sustainable Development Goals, the first one is SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. COVID-19 causes massive jobs losses in Malaysia's transport sector, exposing gaps in worker protections. In response, the government is now focusing on creating higher quality, tech-based jobs. Through the new Industrial Master Plan 2030, Malaysia is upskilling workers and formalizing employment to ensure decent wages and stable growth, aligning with SDG 8. Second one is SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure. The pandemic exposed weaknesses in Malaysia transport infrastructure, especially at congestion ports. In response, the government accelerated smart port upgrades, digital tracking and AI integration, guided by the National Transport Policy and Digital Free Trade Zone. These innovations support SDG 9 by building more resilient and efficient logistic network. And the third one is SDG 11, Sustainable City and Community. Lockdowns reshaped urban freight in Malaysia, leading to congestion and delivery delays. Authorities responded with greener logistics like electric vehicle, parcel hubs and off-peak delivery plans. These actions support SDG 11 by making cities like Kuala Lumpur cleaner, more efficient and better prepared for future urban transport demand. For the SWOT analysis, the first one is strength. Malaysia early government intervention helps stabilize the transport sector post-pandemic. The adoption of digitalization, especially in ports like Port Klang, has improved efficiency and accountability through systems like the Remote Physical Check System (RPS). Port Klang also exploring blockchain, AI and automation, while Port of Tanjung Pelepas (PTP) integrates IoT and big data under Industry 4.0 initiative, keeping Malaysia port globally competitive. Second is weaknesses. Malaysia overdependence on foreign labor weakens its logistic resilience. During COVID-19, migrant workers receive minimum support under the Prihatin stimulus, and policies advise employers to lay them off first. This reliance creates labor gaps and disrupt logistic productivity during the crisis, revealing a structural vulnerability in the sector. Third is opportunities. The pandemic accelerated the adoption of digital tools like automated tracking and routes optimization, enabling contactless and more efficient logistics operations. These technologies increase real-time visibility and reduce manual processes. At the same time, Diversifying supply chains has become essential, helping companies reduce risk linked to over-reliance on single suppliers or routes. 4 is threat. Malaysia logistics sector faces threats from global supply chains disruption. Climate change such as flooding and labor shortage worsened by automation without upskilling. High cost of adoption green technologies may slow sustainability efforts, while competition from Vietnam and Thailand could divert trades. Over-centralization of logistics in Klang Valley also creates risk in case of localized disruption. Malaysia congested city need urgent private sector solutions to improve freight flow. Logistic firms should create micro-fulfillment centers in KL and Penang using empty retail space to speed up last-mile delivery. E-commerce platform must encourage off-peak deliveries with rewards or dynamic pricing to ease daytime traffic. At the same time, transport companies should invest in electric vans and cargo bikes through green leasing scheme. Lastly, shippers, retailers, and tech firms must collaborate on secure data sharing platforms to optimize routes and parking, turning urban freight into a strategic advantages.
Hi and salam sejahtera to my lecturer, Dr. Nur Saimah. My name is MUSI. My metric number is 98402. Today I want to present my final assessment. The title is Addressing Road Traffic Accident and Malaysian, Contributing Factor and Effective Intervention Measures. Now I want to present the introduction. Road traffic accidents are a major public health concern, causing around 1.35 million deaths globally each year, especially among young adults. In Malaysia, about 400,000 road accidents occur annually, resulting in thousands of deaths and injuries. Key causes include human error like distracted driving, speeding, and drunk driving, as well as poor road conditions such as potholes, unclear signage, and inadequate lighting. To reduce road traffic accidents, Malaysia must enforce stricter traffic law, improve road infrastructure, and enhance driver education. These steps are crucial to saving life and ensuring. Now I want to present about the statistical evidence. The table shows the statistic of road traffic accident in Malaysia from 2010 until 2019. Between 2010 until 2019, road accident in Malaysia rose significantly from 414,421 cases in 2018 to 567,516 in 2019, a 37% increase. The sharp rise, especially after 2015, highlight growing concern over road safety. This trend is linked to several factors, including the rising number of vehicles, particularly motorcycle and private car, risky driving behavior, and inadequate road infrastructure. Despite safety initiatives, a steady increase in accidents show that anxiety measures may be insufficient. Urgent and comprehensive action is needed to improve enforcement, infrastructure, and public awareness to curb the growing threat to national safety and development. Now I want to present the International Comprehension Road fatality rates. Malaysia has one of the highest road fatality rate in the region, with 21.2 deaths per 100,000 people in 2018. This is far worse than countries like Sweden, 2.8, and Singapore is 2.6, which have implemented strong proactive road safety strategies. Sweden's Vision Zero and Singapore is strict enforcement and use of traffic technologies, a key example of successful approaches. In Malaysia, about 17% of routes that involves motorcyclists and pillion rider, often due to poor quality helmet and unsafe infrastructure like poorly lit route and risky intersection. Despite effort like Selamat, limited impact is seen due to consistent policies and weak coordination between agencies. To reduce fatalities and meet SDG 3.6 having route that by 2030, Malaysia must adopt a more holistic approach, stronger enforcement, improve infrastructure, and better road safety education, guided by international best practice. Now I want to present about the current policy background in Malaysia. Four main components of MRP. First is road safety education. Second is focus on changing the behavior of road users like motorcyclists, student, young driver. Third is awareness campaigns, training in school and safety curriculum. Fourth is target is form of long-term safety culture. The law enforcement is use modern technology, AES, surveillance camera, bans on cell phone, mandatory seat belt and speed limit, education the community that the law protect everyone's safety. For post-accident response, increase the efficiency of emergency response like ambulance and paramedic. Heal the ecosystem, trauma treatment and recovery support. Route engineering is about the provide safer infrastructure for motorcycle line, street light, safe intersection, and target high risk area. For the lead agency is Ministry of Transport, main coordinator like PDRM for law enforcement, mirrors for data analysis and policy recommendation, JKJR about the education and public awareness. PBT is road infrastructure at state or direct level. For the cross-sectoral cooperation is Ministry of Education about the safety model in school, Ministry of Health, emergency response and post-accident data, NGO and private sector about the safety technology, CSR and digital monitoring. Now I want to present about the alignment with Sustainable Development Goal (SDG). First is SDG 3 is about good health and well-being. Target is 3.6. Target is help road deaths and injury by 2030. Malaysia recorded 6,433 road deaths in 2023. High burden on health system and families involved. Cost is 3.6 million per death. Malaysian Road Safety Plan 2020 until 2030 aim to reduce traffic fatalities by 15% through education, law enforcement, and route engineering and post-accident response. Second is SDG 11 is Sustainable City and Community Target is 11.2. Target is to access the safe, affordable, inclusive, and sustainable transport system. Over 70% of route that has involved motorcyclists. The absence of a dedicated motorcycle line place vulnerable road user at high risk. The PKJRM focuses on safer route design, good lighting, and safe pedestrian crossing. For the SWOT on the issue, first is strength, second is weakness, third is opportunity, and the last one is threat. For the strength is Malaysian Road Safety Plan 2022 until 2030, target to reduce road fatalities by 15% by 2030, in line with SDG 3.6. Comprehensive approach focus on safety education, law enforcement, road engineering, and post-accident response. Modern enforcement is technology is a traffic camera system, increase rule complaint, interagency collaboration like PDRM, mirrors, local authority work together, and policy implementation. For the weakness is low level of road user complaint. Over 70% of that involves motorcyclists, often due to head injuries. Poor user unfriendly infrastructure like lacks of motorcycle line, safe crossing, and adequate lighting. Inconsistent enforcement, especially in a rural area. For the opportunity is about the approved public transport system like MRT, LRT, and BRT reduce reliance on private vehicles. Implementation of global best practice is the example of Vision Zero from Sweden can be emulated for data driven safety design and policy. For the threat is high vehicle ownership rate is contribute to congestion and risk of accident. Using mobile phone while driving for time the risk of accident. Technology distraction and careless driving is becoming a growing issue of concern. Budget constraint and economic uncertainty about the comprehensive implementation of policies such as PKJRM. Now I want to present the recommendation. Malaysia continues to face a serious road traffic accident problem with 6,400 fatalities reported in 2023. Despite the Malaysian Road Safety Plan 2020 until 2030, more target and effective action are needed to meet SDG 3.6 and SDG 11.2. The first recommendation is target road safety education. Is focused on high risk group like motorcyclist youth and school children through a school curriculum, safety certification, and community program. The second is motorcycle friendly infrastructure like build a dedicated line and safety features to protect motorcyclists who account for over 70% of road deaths. The second is advanced technological enforcement, expand AES in integrate AI for real-time helmet and speed monitoring, and deploy predictive analytic. The first is vehicle safety regulation is mandate ABS from motorcycle, introduce vehicle scrappage program, and offer incentive for safer vehicle, especially for B40 group. The number 5 is improve emergency response, like develop the national emergency response grid with GPS, ambulance, trained paramedic, and real-time data exchange. The number 6 is safe urban development, require road safety impact assessment for infrastructure and prioritize vulnerable user and road design. The last one is centralized data integration, is create a national road safety dashboard integrating data from police, mirrors, hospital, and traffic system for evidence-based policy.
Good morning to Dr. Zaima. My name is ELVERNAN, OLVEN, an amateur with number metric 101657. Today I will be presenting on my selected topic, which is freight transport and logistics, with the impact of online shopping on urban logistics. Now let's begin with the general introduction. Freight transport refers to the movement of goods by road, rail, air, or sea, depending on the type of good, cost, and speed needed. On the other hand, logistics goes beyond just transportation. It involves the planning, coordination, and management of the entire journey from the origin point to the final destination. Now let's moving to the statistical evidence. In Malaysia, e-commerce sector has grown rapidly, with sales expected to increase from 31.9 billion in 2021 to 69.3 billion by 2026, growing at a rate of 16.1% annually, driven by post-COVID digital adoption and shift to online shopping platform. And the second is challenge from reverse logistics, with high return rate up to 50% in some region, add pressure on transport volume and operational complexity. Lastly, the urban impact example at Klang Valley, where logistic inefficiency cost 1.1% to 2.2% of GDP, with taken from 2016 data. So e-commerce can reduce unnecessary car trips and improve urban time management. For this part, I will explain the current policy of the issue. So the first is National Transport Policy, NTP, from 2019 to 2030. This policy aims to build an efficient, integrated, and sustainable transport system, and the key focus area was enhance infrastructure and connectivity, promote green mobility and public transport, improve safety, governance, and inclusivity, and leverage IR 4.0 technologies like automation and smart system. Second policy is supportive fiscal reform 2024, new service tax policy, enhanced tax burden on logistics service. So it extends door-to-door logistics within burden zone and special areas, encourages collaboration with third parties under unifished consistent. And it also promotes cost efficiency and strengthens Malaysia's role as the region logistic hub. Next, I will explain the Sustainable Development Goals or SGD. So the first SGD is the SGD 8 or decent work and economic growth, because logistics create high skilled job and support economic expansion. For SGD 9, which is industry innovation and infrastructure, where it promotes better roads, rail, and port for efficient logistics system. For SGD 11, which sustainable cities and communities, and it's because of reduced traffic and pollution through public transport and smart logistics. And last but not least is the SGD 13 with climate action, where it encourages eco-friendly transport, reduce carbon emissions. Now, we move on the SWOT analysis of Malaysia logistic industry. So for the strengths is the strategic Asian location, major port and airport, for example, in Port Klang and the airport in KLIA, diverse industrial base driving freight demand, e-commerce and tech adoption like automation and tracking, strong government support like NTP or the master plan, and for the weakness is urban congestion, last mile issue, over-dependent on road freight, skill shortage in tech or logistic, complex regulations or low green adoption, and lastly, the global competition reduce local player advantage. For the opportunity is e-commerce growth like 20% annually, trade with China and India, digital tech, LOT, blockchain, or AI, cold chain demand like food or pharma, and green logistic investment. Lastly, for the threats, because of the high fuel costs, trade disruptions, geopolitical risks, cybersecurity and data privacy issue, emissions regulations and non-compliant penalty, and continued talent shortage affect the innovation. Finally, here my recommendation. To strengthen Malaysia's logistic industry, it is essential to accelerate the adoption of digital technology such as automation, LOT, AI, and blockchain to improve efficiency, reduce paperwork, and enhance real-time tracking. The government should offer incentives, tax break, or grant to encourage logistic firms to invest in digital infrastructure and workforce upskilling. At the same time, green logistics must be prioritized by expanding the use of electric vehicle, energy efficient warehouse, and sustainable packaging. Collaboration with local authorities and urban planners can help develop smart delivery hub and routing systems to reduce congestion. By combining innovation and sustainability, Malaysia can position itself as a competitive and eco-friendly logistic hub in the region. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to Dr. Huzaimah. My name is INSYIRAH binti SURDIE with number matric 102012. I will present about my topic, which is transportation, safety and security. While my title is the economic effect of reduced traffic on road safety and infrastructure in Malaysia. Firstly, I will discuss about the general introduction. Okay, first, traffic safety is about preventing accident and deaths by improving roads, vehicles, and driver behavior. Next, traffic security. Traffic security is about protecting roads and drivers from crime like theft and vandalism. Fewer cars on the road can result from events like public health crises or planned road closures. Finding the right balance between efficient traffic flow and safety is a key for a healthy transportation system. For example, poorly maintained roads can lead to increased accidents. Major traffic accident problem is serious despite ongoing efforts. But look what happened during the COVID-19 MCO. A 30% drop in accident and a 25% drop in fatalities. This clearly shows that fewer cars mean fewer crashes. However, less traffic can also lead to more reckless driving. It's a complex issue with economic consequences too, especially for businesses that depend on busy roads. This graph shows the number of deaths from road crashes in Malaysia from 2010 to 2020. Broken down by vehicle type, motorcycle, passenger car, pedestrian, and total fatalities. Overall, fatalities were high, but show a sharp drop in 2020. Motorcycle fatalities were consistently the highest, followed by passenger car and then pedestrian fatalities. The significant decrease in 2020 likely reflects the impact of the Movement Control Order MCO and reduced traffic during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next is current policy. Malaysia Road Safety Plan 2022 to 2030 aims to make roads safer and traffic smoother. It focuses on better traffic rules, improved roads, and public awareness campaigns. Smart technology will help manage traffic flow and reduce congestion. This plan also supports the UN Sustainable Development Goals for good health and sustainable cities. The next current policy is the National Transport Policy 2019 to 2030. Malaysia aiming for a big improvement in road safety. This policy wants to cut road deaths in half by 2030. It's all part of a bigger picture, building healthier communities and more sustainable cities, and includes a push for electric vehicle and better public transport. The last policy is Operation Selamat, which known as Op Selamat. Operation Selamat aims to reduce road accident and fatalities. It supports the UN's goal for better health and sustainable cities by improving road safety and ensuring accessible roads for everyone. The plan focuses on safer driving and stronger law enforcement to reduce accidents. In 2020, both the US and Malaysia saw significant drop in traffic fatalities and accidents. However, fewer vehicles on the road also led to an increase in speeding and riskier driving, resulting in more severe accidents. This increase in traffic also had economic consequences, such as reduced toll revenue. Malaysia can learn from this by developing smarter policies, improving infrastructure, and using data to better manage traffic and improve road safety. Next is for the SWOT analysis. For the strength, Malaysia road safety efforts are strengthened by proactive policies focusing on infrastructure, regulation, and public awareness, smart traffic management technologies, and the proven link between reduced traffic and fewer accidents as seen during the MCO. This SWOT analysis weaknesses in Malaysia road safety situation. Reduced traffic while leading to fewer accidents overall resulted in more reckless driving and more severe accidents. Fewer cars also contributed to higher crime rates, particularly in areas with less police presence. Finally, the reduced traffic negatively impacts toll revenue and businesses dependent on traffic. This SWOT analysis outlines opportunities for improving Malaysia road safety. This includes using real-time data and AI for smarter traffic management, a greater focus on electric vehicle and low-emission public developed areas to reduce crime and enhance safety. This SWOT analysis identifies potential threats to Malaysia road safety. Reduced traffic could lead to increased crime, theft, and vandalism in areas with weak policing. Fewer vehicles might encourage riskier driving, turning minor accidents into serious ones. Finally, sustained low traffic volume poses an economic risk, potentially harming businesses and hindering road infrastructure development. Okay, next, let's move on to the recommendation and suggestion. To improve road safety, Malaysia should focus on the firstly, collaborative efforts, working together across government agencies. The private sector and community group is crucial for a comprehensive approach. Next, public safety campaigns. It can raise the public awareness about safe driving practice through targeted campaign can significantly impact behavior. The next one is traffic law enforcement. Strict and consistent enforcement of traffic laws deters dangerous driving and promotes compliance. The next recommendation is data analytics. Using data to identify high-risk areas and driver behaviors alerts for targeted intervention and resource allocation. Lastly, the recommendation is smart technology and community engagement. This can leveraging technology like smart traffic system and involving communities in safety initiatives foster a shared responsibility for road safety. For the conclusion, while reduced traffic initially seemed like a win for road safety, a closer look revealed a surprising twist. Fewer accidents, but a rise in reckless driving and crime. This unexpected consequence hit businesses reliant on high traffic volume. To turn the tide, we need stronger law enforcement, smart tech to manage traffic flow, and a shift towards sustainable transportation. The ultimate goal, a safer, more efficient road network that boosts both public safety and economic growth. Okay, thank you. That's all from me.